This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Delighted to be joined by Adam Smith.
How you doing? You well?
Very well, Adam. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Very good.
Apart from being an Everton fan, Adam.
Well, there you go. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm a happy boy.
Indeed. Good result last night.
Very good result. Great. Two crucial away goals, and yeah, we're playing very well at the moment.
You are indeed, unfortunately. Adam Smith, Khan Brook. I never thought we'd say those words.
Yeah, well, we've been saying them a lot over the years. It's just actually getting them into the ring together. It's been a huge history, obviously. The likes of Frank and Eddie, and it's come down to this. And Ben's got them together. And yes, they're at the twilight of their careers. They're 35, but you're going to look at the shape of them and the weighing and the scales tomorrow. You'll see how much they want to win this fight.
We saw an interview yesterday where you talked about the shape they looked in the public workout. What clues can you draw from that and the press conference today? Has anyone got an edge so far?
I'm not sort of drawing much from the public workouts. I just love the fact that there was such a huge turnout. Today, look, the press conference was lively. I thought very unsavoury at times. I think we definitely didn't need to go into the gutter with some of the stuff, and I thought that was disappointing. They need to apologise. What are we going to say? They're itchy. They're making weight. No excuse really. But there was some great banter between Dominic and Bomac, and they want to fight now. And I think they've done a lot of talking. I don't think they really wanted to be up there today. Actually, it was interesting because I thought we'd get a sort of gloves are off scenario where they'll be, throwing some big fight calls at each other. It didn't really happen, and unfortunately went down the wrong road. And we don't need that. But we don't need that because it's such a great fight. However, we move on. Tomorrow's the weigh-in. It's going to be huge in here in Manchester Central, and then the fight night is one that I've been looking forward to for a long, long time, and we'll finally find out whether it is Khan or Brook. 15
years, Adam, in the making. Why now? What's actually got this fight over the line that so many people couldn't manage previously?
I think with big fights, it's always. People blame politics and promoters, but ultimately it's down to the two fighters themselves. If they want the fight to happen, it tends to happen. And I think that Kell's always wanted the fight. Amir's probably wanted it when it suits him. I think he's always wanted it at some stage of his career. But I think he sort of went and lived the American dream, and now he realises that this is the best fight for him at this stage, and this is the best fight for Kell. And they're the same age. They're probably at the same stage, but it's a case of probably who's got more left in the locker, as Dominic said up there, more left in the tank.
That was the next question, Adam. The general consensus in the room, even amongst both camps, is it all depends which fight is least damage. Would you go along with that?
I think so. I think it's hard to say sort of fighters that are least damaged. These are athletes that have trained extremely hard for a fight. They are at the end of their careers. They're not world champions anymore. But I don't know about being the most damaged, but I think it's certainly the ones that maybe the speed's not quite there, or the timing. I think for Amir it's obvious the speed of hand, the speed of foot. And for Kell it's about distance and timing. And that can go overnight, or it could be still there, and that's the fascination of this. We don't know whether we're going to go in and see two fighters who have seen better days, or whether they've just saved one huge fight for now, and that's the intrigue of it all, and the unpredictability of not knowing how it's going to go, which way and which round, or whether they'll give us 12 thunderous sessions. We don't know. It's the curiosity that makes us want to watch it.
Who do you think would be most hurt by the defeat, Adam?
Kell. 100%. 100%. It's not even if Kell loses, it's going to take a lot. He's a very sensitive man. He's very emotional, and I think he's been chasing Amir for so long that he's put everything into this moment, and I think he'll take it very badly. If Amir loses, of course, it's the names Khan and Brook have been associated for so long. It's going to take a bit to recover from, but at the same time he's got a lot of interests around the world, and boxing is part of his. I think he's got the hunger back. Actually, I think he probably wants to fight another 2 or 3 fights after this, and I think Kell does as well, because they both got themselves into such great physical shape. But the truth is in the ring. You can do all you want in training, and ultimately they'll only know when they get in there. I think the styles will gel. I think it'll be a really exciting fight, but I think the loser's going to have it's going to be tough, and that's why I hope there's some real respect at the end of it. Maybe not what we saw up there at all. I think we need to push on from that quickly. And I think what we need to do is get some respect, and I really do hope they have an embrace at the end, you know, whatever the result. But I think it will affect Kell more if he loses.
Well said, Adam. Adam, in the pantheon of British rivalries, where does this rate? Because, you know, I'm of an age where I remember Eubank Ben, was even Mark Caylor and Earl Christie before that. Where would you rate this one?
Yeah, it's right up there, isn't it? It's the biggest grudge matchup of our modern generation. And of course, we've had Froch and Groves, we've had, you know, many bigger ones in many ways with Ben and Eubank and back in the day. But I think Khan Brook is, I think if it had happened 5 years ago, you'd have to say it was probably one of the biggest of all time in British history. But now it's, you know, it's slightly tainted the fact that they're older. But I don't think it will detract from it being a fantastic fight, because they're both probably at the same level. It's a level playing field. I mean, some people say about the weight, and Kell's had to take, you know, some sort of tough part of the negotiations, but you know, they know what they're doing in the Brook camp, and they'll have him in and around that weight, and he'll be absolutely fine. I think he's trained ferociously for it. But yeah, I mean, look, Ben and Eubank, I mean, I grew up on those guys, and Ben and I were in the car yesterday and just driving past Old Trafford, and suddenly it came back to me, Ben Eubank and Ben Shalom said, "Oh, I was only born a week before that fight," which is
scary,
crazy,
isn't it?
So yeah, it's up there as a great grudge match. Froch and Groves obviously was great before, and then it became even more controversial with what happened at the arena, and then we did it all again at Wembley. So who knows? You know, we're all eyes on February the 19th on Saturday, and let's see what happens.
You were very gentlemanly yesterday, Adam, in response to some barbs that have been thrown your way about how Sky are promoting boxing. So away from that, is this almost vindication of what you do with Sky, or at Sky, sorry, in regards to putting on the big fights? Because, like we said before, so many people couldn't get this fight over the line. This fight's one of a brilliant run of fights. Are you proud? Was there ever a point where you were worried about the future of boxing on Sky?
It's a good question. I mean, we've been through a lot of different stages of Sky boxing in the last 30 years. You know, we've worked with Matchroom pretty much all the way through. John Wishusen, actually, who's now working with us at Boxer, and Barry, and then obviously Eddie in latter years. But we had Frank Warren and Frank Maloney and Mick Hennessy and Ricky Hatton. We had huge amounts of different promoters. So, and they're different stages and different eras. I think what Matchroom and Sky did was, I mean, alongside obviously Frank on Box Nation and BT, but what I think we did with Eddie was we, you know, jointly built up a fantastic time for British boxing. We had some wonderful nights and memories and events. And I think when Eddie went and chose to go to DAZN last year, we had a choice to make, whether we wanted to really recommit or whether we wanted just to sort of pick and choose. And fortunately, the business got behind us and they realised the importance of boxing. It's massive on digital and social. It's obviously it's great for these starry nights, and you know, there's a business model to it. So we know when our time in the sun is. And I said to Ben, it's a long road. We're going to work very hard. We're going to build a stable up, and we're going to just go gently. And I think that's what we're doing. And DAZN have got huge amounts of fights on. We've got a terrific February, and we're going to have some quieter moments and some noisy ones. And I just think it's great for the fans. I think it's great for the competition and the fighters and purses and all of that. But you know, look at that $41 million purse that Frank Warren's just been. You know, it's incredible stuff. And I think it's, as long as they benefit the fighters, as long as they benefit the fans, and my Sky customers, that's what we want. So steady, slow progress, but probably quicker progress than I thought was possible last summer.
Brilliant, Adam. There was another question, Adam, but we've just been bumped in the back there. It'll come to me. Natasha Jonas.
Yes.
Arguably the most deserving potential world champion. Is it going to happen on Saturday?
Reminds me of Matthew Macklin, my colleague, and Jamie Moore, and people that didn't quite get that world title. It's not a disaster if you don't get a world title. There's some very good fighters not to win world titles. Harold Bomber Graham, of course, from Johnny and Naz and Kell's stable. But yeah, I think I thought Tasha deserved it against Terry Harper in the Garden at Matchroom. I thought she just got bit by Katie up here. And I think, listen, she's a very, very popular figure in British boxing. She's obviously part of our Sky team now. She's a pundit. We absolutely adore Tasha. But I've told her that, as always, when we pick up the mic on Saturday night, we call the fight. And if she loses, she loses. It's up to her. It's a big jump up in weight classes. I'm pleased that she's going to come in lighter than the natural sort of 11 stone weight. I think she'll come in, nice and strong and quick, and but she's in with a tough fighter who's got size, experience. On paper, Tasha's way better, classier. But can she do it 3 weight divisions higher? That's the fascination with that one. But obviously Natasha Jonas, it will be a fantastic moment for her and her family, and the many, many people that love her in British boxing if she can become world champion on Saturday night.
Brilliant. Just a couple of quick ones, Adam. One for our local fans. Can you give us any details on the Newcastle card?
I don't actually know. I've been so busy with this. What's actually been announced? You tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what I know.
Obviously Savannah.
Yeah.
Will Clarissa be up? And another exchange of words, because that was entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll try and get Clarissa over, but I'm sure we'll try and get a really good card together for Newcastle. We love coming up there. Let's see what happens on Saturday night. There's a few fighters here that maybe will run out again, and there's a couple of interesting sort of extras we're going to put on in Newcastle. So as with ever, but Savannah will top it, and she's obviously becoming a massive name, not just in the northeast but all around Britain. And the Clarissa fight is what everyone wants to see in the summer. So
will that happen this year? Do you think?
Hurdle. I hope so. I've always wanted it to happen this summer. We have to wait and see. There's a lot of other big fights on the horizon, but in female boxing, apart from Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, which is an absolute firecracker in the Garden at the end of April, I think this is equally or as good as a fight between the 2 of the best women in the world. And Clarissa Shields, the Quote, and Savannah Marshall, maybe our leading fighter in the UK. It's brilliant, absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait for it. So yes, I think it will happen.
Fury White. Some rumours that Ben Shalom got in touch with Dillian and offered to be his advisor in this. Can you shed any light on that?
I speak to Ben more times than you probably speak to your missus. I mean, Ben and I talk all the time. I know that he talks to Dillian's people, but I'm not involved in that. That's up to him if he wants to be involved in those negotiations. I mean, for me, it's Frank Warren and Bob Arum and Todd DeBerth, who are putting this fight on, and Dillian's team. He's got a big team, and obviously they're waiting to put the fight over the line. Let's hope it gets done next week, and is what I'm hearing, and we can all look forward to a big night on April 23rd.
Last one, Adam, final word. Why should we pay $19.95 for this fight? Stupid question, I know.
Look,
I meant that in a positive way as well.
I know what you mean. Look, you want to. Boxing's a financial world, and we want to give everything to our customers in an ideal world. Fights cost money. Huge fights cost big money. So obviously, some are box office events. I think we've done very well by putting Chris Eubank and Liam Williams on Sky Sports, and by putting Josh Taylor and Jack Catchell on Sky Sports. You're sandwiched in between something which we've waited a very long time to see. 2 of the greatest fighters in British boxing of the last 20 years are finally going to get it on. It's a starry night. It's a night where you're going to have celebrities at ringside. Everybody wants to be on the card. It's a terrific show, and you're going to see finally who's better, Khan or Brook. I mean, if I wasn't working on it, I'd be paying a lot more money than $19.95 to see this. Maybe that's because I've been personally affected by this story for so long, and so have Sky. And we've seen all these guys, Kell and team and Khan and team, be around us and be fighting on Sky for so many years. And I think it's just, we want a finish, we want a conclusion. When you're reading a book, what do? 20 pages from the end, you don't just put it down, do you?
Yeah.
It's a thriller, you want to get to that last page, and we're nearly there.
We are indeed, Adam.
Saturday night we'll find out.
Can't wait. Adam Smith, really thank you for your time. See you Saturday.
See ya.